So this video will be about how to create a professional sounding podcast from home for under $100. So, I mean, yeah, if you're interested in podcasts, great, this video is for you. If you're not, well, you should watch anyways. Hi, enjoy, welcome. So if you're like me, you're probably bitten by the whole podcast world. Listening to other people talk is kind of fun. That's why you're here, I guess. And you know, people had the assumption that podcasts are expensive. You need expensive microphones, expensive switchers. You need all kind of gear that people don't normally have or use or know how to use. So you hire a professional to do it for you, and they will charge you extremely much money for nothing. And that's a complete circle right there. Yeah, just finish it, you know. So I'm here today to tell you, no, you don't need expensive switchers, okay, you need like good microphones, sure, but you don't need like hell of expensive microphones. You don't need good, you know, sound dampening, mesh shit, studio, no. So how do you create a professional sounding podcast from home and for under $100? You can do it for more or significantly less, but you know, this is just what we use and how you probably can use the same things to get kind of the same results. So our podcast, Divided Opinions, delade åsikter in Swedish, you can listen down below. It's in Swedish, of course, so if you don't understand Swedish, it will not be very good for you. Well, it might be educational, you know, you might learn some Swedish. That could be good. Svenska är mycket bra att prata. It's a good language. So Divided Opinions is recorded by me, the host, and by Moa, the co-host, and we started our podcast, well, first from home. Then we kind of, you know, upgrade our microphones, upgrade our whole set and stuff. So we got a studio, and that was kind of great. I mean, we had, you know, great microphones, hanging stuff, soundproofing, kind of, you know, the ideal place for a podcast. And you know, don't get me wrong, we love the studio. We would probably have it till this day if COVID didn't struck. But COVID struck, and we were less inclined to have guests on the show. So we kind of, you know, it was just me and her talking, and you know, we live together, so it's kind of unnecessary for us to drive from here into downtown Malmo. It's a small town and only takes 8 minutes, but yes, it's unnecessary, and we didn't feel like paying rent there and rent here, so yeah, we kind of moved the podcast home again. And with this, you know, it came a few challenges, so to speak. But you know, moving the podcast home came with a few issues and inconveniences. I don't know how good you hear. This microphone is kind of good, I guess. I don't know yet. Full review is coming. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you're not, just click the button. So I don't know if you hear it, but this room is kind of echoey. It's quite a big living room, and we have huge windows and, you know, no gardino. What's it called? Blinds. So this room is kind of echoey. We've tried to like dampen the sound with blankets and, you know, paintings, cushions, all the stuff we have back there, and you know, it kind of worked. Not ideal, but you know, still pretty fucking doable. Just to give you like a hint of what we also learned during this whole podcast process. When we started, we wanted the podcast to be a conversation between two people or more and the listeners, like you guys. So we had one mic set up in the middle, and we were just talking, we were just chatting, you know. And the point of having the microphone in the middle was so that it wouldn't distract you from the conversation. Nobody wants, you know, microphones hanging in the face. Maybe. So here is a example from how the sound was when we started recording the podcast.
Men exakt vilken du menar.
Det är som var kolsvart när du tog den. Men man ser typ 3.
And yeah, it was crap. And over the months, maybe, what's it been, a year and a half? Over the year and a half, we've learned quite a bit in, you know, editing, software, you know, manipulating the sound, microphones, setups, you name it. So this is how our podcast is sounding now.
Kom vi minns det låter lite tysk.
Ja, väldigt
alltså
tysk.
Det låter som en tysk gammal dam.
And to be true, we didn't spend a single dime. A krone, as we say in Swedish, a krona. Yes, that's a good fact for you. No, so we just, you know, we just upped our game. So when we moved the podcast home, we went from here to the bedroom to the couch, and you know, we're just trying to move the setup around a bit. You know, the dining room was pretty good, pretty fucking good actually, but it kind of came in the way for dining. You know, it's not the most food friendly to have microphones and blankets in the way. So we tried the bedroom. It was kind of fun, you know, cozy, lying in a bed, talking. Problem is, when we're having guests on, we can't, you know, it can't be me and my partner and a guest in our bed. It's kind of weird, you know. We're monogamous. That's a good word, Helga. So we moved the podcast back from the bedroom out to the living room, not to the dining table, but to the couch. And yes, this is my dog. She's kind of tired. So right now we're recording our podcast from the couch, and this is how our setup looks. So we're using a simple microphone, the Mission SG Adla, I believe it's called. I don't know if it's international, you can buy it in Sweden. And it's pretty good, you know, you got a pop filter on top, USB-B to USB-A cable, simple arm, and we have the other microphone just behind me. So the idea here is that me and Moa can just, you know, sit down, relax on the couch, have a cup of coffee and talk and discuss and, you know, have it recorded simultaneously.
It's blinking.
Yes, it's on. So this is how we currently have it set up on like this, you know, nothing special studio arm, the Mission SG Adla microphone. Again, nothing special at all really, just a pretty typical microphone.
With socks on the back.
Yes. So to minimize the level of sound, as Moa just said, we use socks on the back of our microphones. Not ideal. I'll be straight with you. It's not ideal at all, but it works for us. It's a quick fix. We're gonna get soundproofing sometimes, but we kind of realize we don't want or need soundproofing in our living room. It's not so pretty. So sucks it is. So this is how our setup looks right now. We might change microphones, we might change locations, we might, you know, change the socks, but from my experience, the most essential, important sound part is not made in the microphone. You know, you can talk all day about, oh, this microphone records from 16 kilohertz to 20,000. No, this is yeah, I don't speak microphone. I don't know. I really don't care. As long as it sounds good, I'm pretty much fine with the results. So these microphones, the Mission SG Adla, cost about $40. They're not expensive, so $80 total. And you know, the socks, what, $2? So $82 for a podcast. And what we use next is a pretty powerful software. I didn't want to get, you know, external switchers, and I want our podcast to be a portable podcast, since we quite often change locations. We record from the car, we record from, you know, cabins, just where life happens to be. So we wanted the podcast to be kind of simple and easy, while still, you know, retaining the good sound quality. Man, shit, my English is getting whoa. So what we use is a software called Voicemeeter Banana, I believe. It's a virtual mixer, so you can, you know, plug two microphones in the computer, and most often, this is where we had our most, you know, huge issues with the podcast. A computer really only likes to identify one microphone. So when you plug in two microphones to a computer, it will automatically choose one, and the other will be cast out. You can't use it. So, you know, we tried some ASSIO 3. I don't know what to call it. It fucked up my computer. The whole computer just crashed. Not good, not recommend. But then we found Voicemeeter Banana, and it works, you know, I'll just say it works pretty fucking phenomenal. So we plug in both microphones into the computer, we launch Voicemeeter Banana, and I mean, yeah, I can just show you how it works. So we plug both microphones into the computer. If you have 3, just plug 3 into the computer. You open Voicemeeter Banana, and here you choose inputs to the, you know, sound output. So you choose 1 microphone, 2 microphones, 3 microphones, whatever you might need. You can control bass, treble, you know, decibel, scale. Then you choose your output and go into your software of choice. My choice is Adobe Audition. You can use, you know, whatever your liking is, but Adobe Audition works for us, so yeah, we use it. And inside Adobe Audition, you just choose Voicemeeter Banana VIO aux, whatever it's called, as the input, so that Audition will recognize the output of the voice meter as a single microphone. And note that thing, a single microphone. That Audition will, recognize this as one microphone. So you can't kind of adjust levels after the fact. So you need to be quite certain of your audio levels beforehand. And yeah, because you can't sort out, one track from another. They're all mixed. So once we record a podcast with 4 people, no. Not good at all. So one girl talked really quiet, one girl screamed, and then it's me and Mo. So it was kind of hard to sort out the audio levels. One girl we need to raise her voice, the other girl we need to lower. They talked over each other, kind of a mess. So if you're planning to record a podcast with more than 2 or 3 people, I would recommend you getting an external switcher so you can control the audio levels like in the making. But this it's an inexpensive choice, and it works pretty good. Like 80% of the time it works pretty good, and then 20% of the time, maybe 10% of the time, it fucks up your entire podcast. So that's kind of how we record a professional sounding podcast from home for less than $100. If I could choose, well, maybe yes, I would like a studio again, but one thing I like about recording in the apartment is it's easy. It's not so many hurdles in the way. Like if we're sitting in the couch and we talk and we come into something exciting or a good topic of our liking, we can just sit down and record it right away. So it's simple. Yes. We went from this audio quality.
Jag vet exakt vilken du menar.
Det är som var kolsvart när de tog den.
To now having this audio quality.
Kom vi minst det låter lite tyskt.
Ja, väldigt
alltså
tyst.
det låter som en tysk.
It's quite the difference. I mean, and that's just with minor tweaks, having the microphone close to the mouth so you get the bass of the voice, having socks on the back so you don't get the echo, having more powerful software so you can control the audio to the finest. And yes, that is pretty much it. So yeah, the only thing standing between you and recording a professional sounding podcast from home is, it's just time, but it's really fun, to sit down and express your thoughts over the course of 30 minutes an hour. You don't get to do that very often, and I believe it's a good thing to do. I mean, it's like therapy, but recorded. It's awesome. And I might do an extended tutorial on Audition and Voicemeeter Banana, how to use these softwares with the microphones to create a podcast. I don't know. Maybe down the road, but not today. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe either way. And yes, listen to our podcast. It's linked down below. Whew. Nice to be done, I hate these guys.